Let's dive in and find out what happened. 1. The Sweet Heist in Canada 2011-2012. It isn't only gold and cash that are worth stealing. Food can be a high-value target too. In Canada, there's a product so precious it's stored in a national strategic reserve. And thieves made off with 3,000 tons of it. Maple syrup, the iconic delicacy of the Maple Leaf Nation. The theft unfolded across 2011-2012, earning the nickname the Maple Syrup Heist of the Century. And to this day, it remains the most valuable theft in Canadian history. In Quebec, which produces 3/4 of the world's maple syrup supply, a producers' federation runs the strategic reserve to stabilize prices and stockpile syrup for lean years. That means warehouses filled with tens of thousands of barrels of liquid sweetness. The thieves eyed those warehouses like gold mines. From August 2011 to July 2012, a crew, with insiders colluding, quietly drained 9,571 barrels, nearly 3,000 tons in all, valued at $18.7 million, about $19 million. Their method was meticulous. The gang truck hauled barrels out to a remote facility, pumped out the syrup, then refilled the barrels with water before returning them to the warehouse, stacking them back in place. It happened slowly over many months and no one noticed because the reserve is only audited periodically. As the operation went on, the thieves grew bolder. Near the end, they siphoned syrup on site, not even bothering to refill with water. The stolen syrup was smuggled into neighboring U.S. states like Vermont, or sold in other Canadian provinces such as New Brunswick, then trickled onto the black market bit by bit to avoid suspicion. Picture a massive food smuggling ring, not unlike the drug trade, except the contraband here was pancake syrup. The scheme unraveled in July 2012 during the annual inventory. Inspector Michel Gauvreau nearly toppled over after slipping on a barrel. A full barrel should weigh about 270 kilo and be hard to budge. But this one was feather-light, filled with water or simply empty. A quick spot check of nearby barrels revealed hundreds full of plain water, and the alarm went up. The reserve had been bled dry. An investigation kicked off immediately. By December 2012, Canadian authorities had arrested 17 suspects tied to the audacious heist. In court, ringleader Richard Valliere received 8 years in prison and a $9.4 million fine, restitution equal to the value of the missing syrup. His accomplices, among them Valliere's father, a syrup broker, a warehouse lessor, and drivers, also received various prison terms and fines. Only about half the syrup was ever recovered. The rest likely flowed into breakfasts around the world. The heist sounds sweet, but its aftertaste is bitter. It exposed the dark underbelly of Canada's syrup market, where tight federation controls helped spawn a black market. Many producers, chafing under quotas, helped fence stolen syrup for profit. Security at the strategic reserve warehouses has since been tightened, but analysts argue that only market reforms can truly prevent future sweet operations like this one. 2. The Heist of 7,000 Bugs, Philadelphia 2018. Here's a caper that makes your skin crawl just hearing about it, stealing thousands of insects and reptiles from a museum. In 2018, Philadelphia's Insectarium and Butterfly Pavilion, USA, lost a staggering 80 to 90% of its live collection. About 7,000 creatures in all, including insects, spiders, and reptiles, valued at roughly $40,000. The heist was so outlandish it even got a shout-out on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Security footage points to a likely inside job by disgruntled former employees who knew the place like the back of their hands. They slipped in and carried off entire display terrariums, hauling them into the night. Cameras caught figures lugging plastic tubs packed with rare species. Giant African mantises, domino centipedes, banded black and white like a set of dominoes, desert scorpions, hairy tarantulas, Madagascar crickets, even a few lizards. No exaggeration. Nearly the museum's entire living collection took flight in a single night. Motives? Most likely flipping rare exotics on the black market for odd pet aficionados. Certain insects and reptiles fetch serious money, and there's a brisk underground trade for them. But swiping animals in bulk is dangerous. Many species require specialized care. Pulled from controlled habitats, they die easily, or if released, can harm local ecosystems. In the aftermath, police did recover a small number of abandoned specimens, but most are still missing. A side tale emerged that the alleged thieves claimed they weren't stealing at all, just taking their pets back, implying some ex-staff had loaned personal collections to the museum and took them when they quit. Whatever the excuse, authorities treated it as a theft, and the investigation continued. As for the museum, the shockwaves were financially devastating. So much so that a few years later it was reportedly on the brink of bankruptcy. The Philadelphia bug heist proves that anything can be stolen, from diamonds and crown jewels to the tiniest six-legged treasures. It also rings a loud alarm about security at niche conservation sites and doubles as a human resources cautionary tale. Sometimes the real threat walks out the door with insider knowledge. This one-of-a-kind story will be told for years. A reminder that in the world of crime, human imagination knows no limits. 3 unbelievable food heists, from Nutella and garlic to cheese. Keeping with the theme of stolen food, the world has seen plenty of robberies that sound like jokes but are 100% real. Here are a few standout cases that will make you both gape and chuckle. 20 tons of Nutella and Kinder eggs vanish in Germany, 2017. In August 2017, German police scrambled to track down a refrigerated truck loaded with Nutella and Kinder Surprise chocolate that was stolen in the town of Neustadt. The trailer held over 20 tons of sweets, worth an estimated $80,000. To make off with a haul that heavy, the thieves definitely needed their own truck to tow the whole rig away. Police even joked to locals, "If someone offers you an unusually large batch of chocolate under shady circumstances, please call us." The sweet heist remains unsolved. Perhaps the gang melted the chocolate to resell it, or simply ate it slowly to satisfy a very long sugar craving. 9.5 tons of garlic disappear at the border, 2012. This hard-to-believe tale unfolded on the Austria-Hungary border. In 2012, Austrian police stopped 3 overloaded, bouncing trucks about to leave the country. Before they even opened the doors, officers caught a powerful whiff of garlic. And sure enough, inside were 9.5 tons of stolen garlic. The shipment, originating from Spain and worth around $30,000, was being smuggled by a group of 5 Romanian men. Odds are they intended to offload the mountain of garlic in Romania or Hungary for profit. Border officers quipped the gang must have been prepping to fight vampires. Why else would anyone need that much garlic? The case proves anything with value can be stolen, even garlic. Cheap by the bulb, a small fortune by the ton. Parmesan cheese stolen like daily bread, Italy. In Emilia-Romagna, Italy, the homeland of Parmigiano Reggiano, cheese is as precious as gold. On average, about $3 million worth of Parmesan is stolen in Italy every year, notably between 2003 and 2015. An 11-person gang pulled off a string of jobs, snatching 2,039 wheels of Parmesan worth roughly $785,000. Italian police put it plainly, "Here, cheese is like gold, the value is just too high." That particular gang was busted in 2015. But the cheese bleed continues because Parmesan is valuable and easy to fence on the black market. Other food bandits. There have been many other odd food thefts worldwide. A black truffle warehouse in France was once burglarized, losing over $100,000 worth of premium truffles in a single night, 2005. In 2017, a vineyard in Bordeaux was visited and stripped of 7 tons of ripe grapes right before harvest. The thieves were almost certainly wine pros picking a rare vineyard that survived that year's brutal frost. In the U.S., one bizarre case saw a man steal a bread delivery truck and drive along tossing loaves into the street while wearing only his underwear, to the weary disbelief of the police. These one-of-a-kind capers prove that thieves will target anything that sells, from luxury items like cheese and fine wine to the humble staples of everyday life: bread, garlic, chocolate. 4. The audacious tunnel heist inspired by Sherlock Holmes' London, 1971. A plot straight out of detective fiction played out in London in 1971. A crew rented a shop next to a bank, tunneled through the night into the vault, and, most bizarrely, got exposed because of a walkie-talkie. Later dubbed the Baker Street robbery, the caper took place at a Lloyd's Bank branch on Baker Street in September 1971. To this day, it's still regarded as one of the strangest bank heists in British history. The plan could have stepped right off the pages of Sherlock Holmes. Ringleader Anthony Gavin, a seasoned criminal, decided to copy The Red-Headed League, the Holmes story where crooks dig from a neighboring business into a bank. Gavin and his crew rented a leather goods shop called Le Sac, right next to the Lloyd's branch, and over several weekends they secretly drilled and dug a tunnel about 12 meters, 40 feet, through the soil beneath. To avoid detection, they worked at night, posted a lookout on a nearby rooftop, and kept in touch with the team below by two-way radio. On the night of September 11, 1971, they punched through the floor and slipped into the vault. Inside, the gang pried open 268 safe deposit boxes, making off with valuables estimated between $1.25 and $3 million, a fortune at the time. It all went off without a hitch. No alarms, no witnesses, no one caught red-handed. But their luck didn't hold. A quirky twist blew the lid off the job. An amateur radio hobbyist happened to pick up their walkie-talkie chatter. Robert Rowlands, tinkering with his radio at home, stumbled onto the thieves' frequency and clearly heard them discussing tunneling and the vault. He phoned the police. At first, the Met was skeptical. But Rowlands managed to record the conversation as proof. In the middle of the night, officers fanned out, checking more than 750 banks within an 8-mile, 13-kilometer radius to find the ongoing burglary. Frustratingly, despite the massive effort, they arrived a step too late. By dawn, the crew had vanished, leaving a stripped vault behind. They escaped that night, but they didn't stay anonymous for long. Their fatal mistake, using real names when renting Lissac. Within weeks, police traced the paper trail and arrested the core suspects, including Gavin and 3 accomplices, who later received 8 and 12-year sentences each. Most of the loot was never recovered, and it remains unclear how many other conspirators slipped away for good. The robbery grew even more mysterious as sensational rumors took flight. One claimed the government issued a D-notice to muzzle the press because one of the boxes belonged to the royal family, specifically that it held sensitive photos of Princess Margaret and a notorious criminal. Another theory alleged the heist was actually staged by British intelligence to retrieve compromising documents tied to a senior politician. While no credible evidence has ever backed these claims, and officials denied them, the fact that the Baker Street files are sealed until 2071 only stokes the public's curiosity. The tale later inspired the film The Bank Job, 2008, cementing this caper's place in the pantheon of Britain's most enigmatic heists.